Hello everybody, RebelDustyPinky here, as you can see along the desk. I'm going to share with you my journey thus far on Twitch and how it kind of started out, and this is probably going to be one of the realest videos I've ever made, and this kind of explains a little bit how I got into content creation, how I started out on Twitch, kind of the hardships that kind of came into play with me coming to Twitch, and so on and so forth. And I'm gonna be showing some deeper emotions in this video, so bear with me and enjoy this ride. So we're gonna take you back before Twitch. I'm gonna take us into 2019 and 2020. Don't worry, it's not gonna be like a day-by-day play. This video would go on forever if I did that. Just gonna do a brief summary of how I kind of got into content creation. I started off on Mixer. I was a Mixer streamer, and I did it casually. I did it part-time while I worked full-time. I worked a lot of hours, and I just kind of did it as a hobby just to make new friends, and eventually ended up creating and building into something more. I created the Dusty Rebellion community, which I am absolutely so fond of. I loved Mixer, and it was a great experience. I made a lot of friends on there, lifelong friends. Like literally I still talk to some people from Mixer, even people that didn't move to Twitch with me. In 2019 I was playing a variety of different games. I played a lot of Warframe. I played a little bit of everything. I jumped into everything. I was a variety streamer on Mixer. I ended up getting partnered with Warframe in 2019. I ended up getting partnered with Mixer in 2019, and I was doing really well. I was seeing a lot of success in streaming on Mixer. I was holding 100 concurrent viewers by the time 2020 rolled around, and I was beaming. I was happy. I was loving the growth. I was loving seeing the success from it, from something that came casual to more of it progressing into something more serious. I had a lot of confidence in my stream, in my community. Everything was going great. Everything was very strong, and there was a lot of brightness in the future. It was brighter than my bald head future. And by 2020 came around, I ended up getting partnered with Nitrado and Paladins and a couple other companies that I met along the way. I was doing sponsorships. I was really active on trying to work on YouTube content, and I was building something that I was really proud of. Now through 2020, early on, I believe it was April, I posted a video saying that my job had laid me off, and that was probably the realest video until this one came out right now. My job had laid me off in April. So I was forced upon full-time content creation, but I was confidently laid off from my job, which sounds weird, but you know what I mean. I was confident. When I was laid off, I was like, I'm going to stream. I'm going to full-time stream. There was no doubt in my mind. I was confident in my content. I was confident in what I built on Mixer and in the community, and the Dusty Rebellion was strong. And I was so excited I was actually kind of excited to get laid off from my job, which sounds so weird. I was excited because it was closing a door, but it was opening another door that I was really passionate about. And this is where kind of the sad and the hard parts come in. 2 months into my full-time content creation, I got an email saying that Warframe was closing their partnership program. And I was like, okay, well, understood. You know, they wanted to reshape some things, and that's understandable. You know, they wanted to rebuild their program. They have now created the creator program, but at the time, we didn't know that. So it was just kind of like, okay, bye-bye. And that was kind of a downer. I'm not going to lie. I really enjoy working with DE. And then on came Mixer with a tweet out of nowhere. What did the tweet say again? Oh yeah, we're selling you to Facebook. We're selling Mixer to Facebook in a tweet. No behind the scenes talk or anything like that. We had no clue. We were blindsided. I was a Mixer partner. and we were behind the scenes. They told us nothing. We knew nothing about it. It literally came out of nowhere, and a lot of hearts dropped. Because I had just become a full-time content creator. I can't imagine people that were doing full-time content on Mixer at the time. That was their livelihood. That was my livelihood. And that brand that we built on there was gone. Now, of course, we still had our brand on other social medias and some things, but some people didn't build upon those brands. Thankfully, I had built a strong community around Discord and Twitter and YouTube, so there was still remnants of being able to reach out to people and letting people know that we were eventually going to make our way to Twitch. Now, I will say this. I don't blame Mixer for how they did it, because I really don't. And this was a fault of the partners, the Mixer partners. And yeah, I'm calling all of us out, because anytime they told us anything behind the scenes, it was instantly put on Twitter. And it was bullshit. There were partners that literally were told, don't post anything. The minute it was said in a chat, it was on Twitter. And that's why they stopped telling us things. That's why they couldn't give us a heads up, because if they had told us, it would have been all over Twitter. So I understand the way they did it, but it's still, it was a blindside. It really was. It blindsided a lot of people, especially people that relied on Mixer for their livelihood. Now, they did offer all the Mixer partners a contract to go over to Facebook. They offered us a lump sum to go over to Facebook. And I thought that was really cool. But I'm going to be honest, I don't feel comfortable on Facebook. I think Facebook is sketchy. I don't trust it. And I wasn't about to sink my newly found career into the hopes of Facebook. Sorry, Facebook fam. So I went over to Twitch. I started out on Twitch, but and don't get me wrong, I'm happy on Twitch, but it was a hard transition. I had just lost Warframe partnership. I had just lost Mixer partnership. I had just lost my platform that I had primarily made content on, and it was a hard transition. From going from Mixer, where I was concurrently holding 100 viewers, to moving to Twitch, seeing that follower thing go from starting at 0. And yes, it did go up pretty fast. We did build upon, and a lot of people came back. But there were so many Mixer streamers that were struggling and trying to make the transition over to Twitch and Facebook. And a lot of people were trying to figure out where they wanted to go. Viewers included. Not only the streamers, a lot of the viewers, they built strong communities on Mixer. So when Mixer went down, a lot of people disappeared. A lot of people couldn't make it back, and it was understandable because they were hurt as well. So it was really hard going from seeing 100 concurrent viewers to coming over to Twitch and then seeing, 10, 20, 30. That's a big drop, especially when you just went full-time content creator. It was tough though. It was rough, but I honestly, I think it was for the best. Now thinking, looking back now, I think it was for the best. I'm very happy on Twitch. I found a lot of success on Twitch. I've built lifelong friendships on Twitch. I have built the Dusty Rebellion community never stopped just because Mixer died. And I'm so blessed for that, because I was in a really low spot in my life at that moment. And I'm going to be completely honest with you. It was a dark time for me, and I didn't show it because I was hopeful that we would rebuild and we would move on and it would be okay. But there was that oh shit moment of I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this. I might have to go and get another job. I was starting to freak out. I really was. And thankfully, a lot of people talked me down. My mods, streamers, we support each other. We work together. But even the streamer support, we were all scrambling to learn the new system. Streaming is, I'm not saying that we had to relearn streaming, but it is a whole new system on Twitch compared to what we were used to. We had to relearn the ins and outs, the differences, all those little things, all the little things. And we had to rebuild. We had to set up all of our profiles, and we had to figure out the algorithms and all that fun jasmo. And I'm not trying to look for pity. I'm not trying to, make you feel bad for me for the experiences I went through, because that's just part of life. You have those ups and downs. You have to, move on. You have to adapt. That's just part of life. That's part of being a human, so don't feel bad for me, because it all worked out in the end, but it was a time of hardships. It was a really hard time of hardships. Yes, indeed. Now, moving on to now that we're on Twitch, we've created a little bit more of a rhythm of things. We kind of figured out what we wanted to do with our schedule kind of things. And I kind of latched onto the Warframe directory for a very long time. And the Warframe community is really, really welcoming and really awesome, and I appreciate them taking me in and making me feel welcomed when I was just moving on to Twitch, because I still had a lot of people that were really into it from being in the Warframe partnership program, and I kind of latched onto that because it was like it was familiarity, and there was quick growth there, and everybody was really supportive and welcoming when I came over to Twitch from Mixer, because a lot of people did know me from Mixer, because a lot of people came over for drops or they came over for raid type things. So a lot of people from Twitch actually knew who I was, which was really it was nice. It was good to see familiar faces, and it just felt very, very welcoming. But I started doing Warframe every stream, because the numbers were there, the metrics were there, and I kind of got into this groove of only doing Warframe, and it wasn't a bad thing. I love Warframe. Don't get me wrong, I love Warframe, but I didn't like the fact that whenever I would go to host like my friends who were doing variety streaming or they were doing other games, they would refer to me as the Warframe guy, and I know that's what my content was based upon a lot of, but I didn't like it, because I wanted to be known as RebelDustyPinky. I wanted to be known as something other than the Warframe guy. So I got out of my nest, my beautiful little nest, and I jumped off this cliff into variety streaming, and I flapped as hard as I could, and I still play a lot of Warframe. Don't get me wrong, I still play a lot of Warframe, but I love variety streaming. That's what I did on Mixer. That was my niche. I loved it. I loved exploring new directories, seeing new people, meeting new streamers through different games. It was awesome. I loved it. And I missed that, and I longed for that, and I wanted that back. So I went into variety streaming, and I'm not going to lie, that kind of hurt too, because I love the Warframe community, but they are hardcore in the Warframe community. The Warframe community is very Warframe driven, and that is kind of it. And that is not necessarily a bad thing, but when I went on to going into variety streaming into different directories, it got very lonely for a short amount of time. Now, we eventually did kind of set the tone and kind of work our way back into the variety streaming vibes, and we've built that up since, starting on Twitch. And as we were getting into the variety bug, thankfully, I'm so thankful that they reached out to me, the people over at DE Digital Extremes. They reached out to me and they offered me a spot to come back to the Warframe Creator Program, which is their new partnership program. And I was ecstatic. I really was, because it was very familiar. There was a lot of faces. There was a lot of people behind the scenes that I got to work with that I really just missed interacting with. And it does build a lot of growth through raids, and they do a lot of giveaways, and it's awesome. They treat their partners / creators amazingly. For real, they really do. And thankfully, a lot of the partnerships from when I was a Mixer streamer did carry over, and they didn't terminate any partnerships like Nitrato, Streamloots. They were all very supportive and very helpful with the transition over to Twitch, which I am so thankful for, because honestly, it you know, you think about losing all those, you know, all your sponsors and everything like that, and you're just like, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. So there was some things that were still there, and I'm forever thankful and blessed for. Now, speaking of, you know, afraid of losing things, now there was a lot of people that ended up quitting streaming. There was people that had tens of thousands of followers on Mixer, and they had hundreds of viewers a night, and when they went to transfer over to a new platform, they were so demoralized, and they just couldn't push forward, and it was sad because there's a lot of people that I've never heard from ever again. A lot of friends from Mixer that I never heard from. I don't know where they are. I don't know. They never came to Twitch. They didn't go to Facebook. Some of them went to Facebook. Some of them went to Twitch, and they stopped shortly after, or they stopped a couple months after, and I never heard from them again. So I did lose a lot of friendships too from the Mixer transfer. Now, I have also made a lot of new friends, like a lot of new friends. I'm not dissing on my new friends. Don't worry. I love my new friends. I've made so many new friends on Twitch, viewers, other streamers. There's just so many people I'm so thankful that I've met and I've been blessed, and I'm really happy that I am on Twitch, and I'm also doing YouTube. I also am really enjoying YouTube as well. I am enjoying being away from Mixer. I wouldn't change a thing about how it happened. Looking back, at the time, it was bad. It was bad. I was in a bad place, and a lot of people were in bad places with it. But now, looking back, I wouldn't change a thing. I am so thankful. I am so happy for how it went. It made me super thankful for a lot of things. It made me feel blessed for the people that did stick around and stay with me through the transition and the lows. And I think we've built a really awesome thing. The thing being the Dusty Rebellion community, and on Twitch and everywhere else. And I just want to say I'm really thankful. I'm thankful for each and every one of you. I mean that from the bottom of my heart, because like I said, I was in a tough time, and you know, you may not have noticed it at the time, because as being a leader of a community, you need to lead. You need to kind of be the one that takes the charge. You know, we were in a position where we needed to make quick moves fast. We needed to act. We needed to get the next stream up. We needed to promote us on a new platform. We needed to be ready to do all these things. And this is not only for me, this is going out there for a lot of other streamers that went through this as well. You know what? Good for you. Good for you. And you stayed strong, and I'm proud of myself, and I'm proud of each and every one of you who did make the transition from Mixer, because that is so awesome. And yeah, I'm very thankful. I'm very thankful. And I know I sound like a broken record just kind of saying that over and over, but I really want to get that point across, because the people that were there for me in that low time, you made such an impact in my life. And I don't know if I would have been keeping going on streaming if it wasn't for the few people that stuck around in the beginning as we went over. So thank you to the mods that came over, to the viewers that came over, to the streamers that stayed in touch. You're all amazing, and I really do love you. I love you. Yeah. Now, I'm not going to lie to you. That last scene, I actually was starting to tear up a little bit. And I'm an ugly crier. That's why I kind of cut it off early. I am an ugly crier, okay? So I didn't want you to see that. So I wanted to take a minute and just kind of step away for a minute, and now I'm back. And I want to talk about how bright the future is. Now, I've mostly been talking about kind of the hard things that came along, and the hope and the trust that we've built with the community. Now I want to talk about the future just for a short while and say that I am really excited for continuing another year with the Dusty Rebellion community. You all have been fantastic. You've all made me so hopeful for the future, and we've built something really strong and really real, and I love doing content creation full time. I love making YouTube videos. I love streaming on Twitch and just streaming in general. I can't even say on Twitch because who knows when who knows when they might pull a mixer. Bad joke. But anyway, I am I love this. I love this. I wouldn't have it any other way. I'm so blessed to be able to do this as a full-time career, and thank you once again. And I am super excited for what the future holds for us. This is our first year on Twitch. This is our second year overall of streaming. This is awesome, and I can't wait to see what the future holds. And yeah, stay tuned, and thank you. And I love you, Rebel Dusty fam. Doodles. And of course, I wouldn't be anywhere if it was not for the Patreon subs. A lot of these Patrons have been here since Mixer days, and I am so thankful. Thank you all so much for hanging out with us, and I hope you enjoy being a Patreon here, and I hope I'm living up to your expectations this first year, and hopefully I can continue to hit those expectations on a super high note going into the future years. So thank you so much for believing in me. Thank you for funding my projects, and thank you for feeding me. I'm a very hungry boy. I eat a lot, and I apologize for that. If you are interested in becoming a Patreon sub and supporting me, click that link in the description below, or go to patreon.com/RebelDustyPinky, and you too can feed me and support future projects. And thank you for even considering it. Ha! Goodbye.